So MAGA is getting comfortable. MAGA is getting very comfortable. And why do I say that? Why do I say MAGA is getting comfortable? I say that because MAGA is now getting comfortable enough to tell Latinos who voted for Trump, that, you're not really American. You're not American, and the fact that you have a problem with how Donald Trump is treating undocumented immigrants really means you're not an American. Actually, now that you're voicing your displeasure, I think it's high time we finally told you you don't belong. You're not an American. And who's leading this charge of racism? Matt Walsh. So Matt Walsh has attacked a representative from Florida, a Cuban woman who's for Trump, Maria Elvira Salazar. She supports Trump. He has attacked her by saying, get out of this country. You are not an American. You should go back to Cuba. That's the language. That's the message that MAGA has for the Latino supporters who aren't in favor of the rounding up of undocumented immigrants who aren't active criminals.
Some of the most shameful moments in our past as a country relates to how we have treated immigrants who are not criminals.
What do you mean by our? What do you mean by we, Maria? Okay, you're Cuban. Your greatest priority is to destroy our national sovereignty and identity. You talk about American history like it's something to be ashamed of. So there's no we here. You're not American. You clearly don't like this country or identify yourself with it. You want to talk about we, go back to Cuba and talk about we. I mean, this is how dare you come here and start telling us that we aren't allowed to have a country anymore? Okay, how dare you come here and tell us that, oh, it's shameful. It's shame. You should be ashamed. How dare you? Get the hell out. Seriously. Standing there talking about shameful moments. I know one shameful moment in American history. It's when you got elected.
Now, notice Matt Walsh's language in this video. Matt Walsh is purposefully misinterpreting what she said in order to make a white nationalist point. She said, one of our most shameful moments in history relates to how we have treated immigrants who are not criminals. Now, Matt Walsh goes on to say that she views our history in a negative way. Being honest about the fact that America doesn't have a perfect track record does not all of a sudden mean you hate America. We've been wrong before. See, they don't want to acknowledge America's wrongs toward non-white people. That's Matt Walsh's problem. How dare you acknowledge that America has done non-white people wrong in its history? How dare you acknowledge that? How dare you? How dare you bring attention to that? And because you've brought attention to that, get the hell out. It's basically what Matt Walsh is saying. Go away, get out. You don't belong because you fixed your mouth to critique America. That is how Matt Walsh feels. That's the reality of it. She doesn't hate, I think MAGA as a movement hates America. It hates due process. It hates freedom of speech. It hates liberal values. It does. It just does. MAGA hates this country. MAGA wants a fascistic, monarchical, psychotic, ultra-hierarchical, white nationalist, Christo-fascist shithole of a state. That's what MAGA wants. So MAGA is a movement of anti-American, just full-on hatred for this country, anti-American energy, anti-American activity. You know what I'm saying? That's what MAGA represents. Matt Walsh engages in the most bad faith interpretation of what she is saying just to get to the point of what he's always wanted to say, which is get out. That's what he wants to say. He wants to be able to arrive at that conclusion. So what he does is purposefully misinterpret what she's trying to say. Notice how Matt Walsh says, how dare you tell us we are not allowed to have a country? What does he mean by that? He's saying, how dare you tell us we must treat people who don't look like us a certain way? How dare you tell us that? In their mind, America isn't America unless they're stepping on someone who doesn't look like them. That is what they derive their pride and sense of identity and belonging from. Their sense of nationhood from is, who are we stepping on? Who are we better than? Who are we superior to? Who do we have more rights than? That is the entire foundation of their movement. This is the reason why minorities do not belong in MAGA. This is the reason why women don't belong in MAGA. This is the reason why LGBTQ folk don't belong in MAGA. This is the reason why if you are not a straight white male, you don't belong in MAGA. This is the ultimate conclusion. This is where it all ends. This is the final destination. Latinos for Trump, realize and recognize this is how they feel about you. This is how they feel about you. Just because you aren't black does not mean they like you. Just because they might say some racist things about black people to you does not mean they don't like you. Do you believe when they're talking to us, they don't say racist things about y'all? Bro, racist going racist no matter what. A racist person is going to engage in racist behavior no matter what. Trying to be on their team is delusional. It's to no avail. What will you accomplish by doing that? Seriously, Matt Walsh doubles down. He says, I don't care where she was born. She advocates for foreigners. She is attempting to destroy American sovereignty with mass amnesty. She uses shame and guilt to advocate for illegal aliens. She is not an American. She hates this country. I make no apology for saying so. Now, I don't believe for one second that if Maria Elvira Salazar was an Anglo-Saxon white woman, a Germanic white woman, because she's clearly of Southern European descent. She's clearly of Iberian heritage. She's a white woman. She's of European descent, just not the right kind of European descent. If she were of the right kind, Matt Walsh wouldn't tell her to get out. He wouldn't tell her to go away. He'd just say, you hate this country and keep it moving. He wouldn't tell her to get out. Why is he telling you to get out, Mrs. Salazar? He's telling you to get out because in his mind, you are not white. You are not an American. You need to go away. Go back. Get out. Matt Walsh doesn't care about the economic consequences of, deporting, just mass deportations. Matt Walsh doesn't care about the humanitarian risk and cost. He doesn't care about the legal cost of allowing a fucking criminal in chief like Donald Trump to have the kind of power to just disregard the rule of law, to disregard due process, to disregard any and all common decency. He couldn't care less about not even slippery slope, the inevitability of allowing this to happen, where it will go. He doesn't care. All he sees is white people and non-white people. He doesn't care about law. He doesn't care about political science. Matt Walsh does not give a fuck about any of that. His first and foremost priority is culture warrior behavior. That's what he does. That's what he engages in. Latinos for Trump, I need you to realize and recognize this is how these folks feel about you. It's true. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not sitting there saying they like black people. What I'm trying to tell you is we know they don't like us. We know that. That's why we don't vote for them. That's why we're not on their side. We already know how they feel about black people. We have no misgivings about how they feel about us. I would highly advise Latinos for Trump to realize and recognize they're behaving like this toward you because they now feel like they can never lose. They have a criminal in chief. They now have a man in office who believes he is above the law. Now that they feel like they will never have to win an election fair and square ever again, notice how they are now treating you. Notice how they are speaking about you. These people have been planning this all along. And by these people, I mean MAGA. Not white people. I mean MAGA. It's MAGA. This is what they've been planning this entire time. The reason why Matt Walsh is going full white nationalist now in his tweets and his videos is because he feels comfortable. He sees that the environment is shifting. He sees who's in office, and now he feels like, you know what? I guess I can do this now. I can be untouchable. This can't possibly bother me. I can't be damaged by this. The MAGA movement will survive. White supremacy will return. Donald Trump will be president forever and ever and ever. He's wrong, but he feels that way because they've won. And they won in part because of you. So, Latinos for Trump, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm just saying this is fucking crazy. But this is how they feel. This is what they think. In their mind, if you don't look like them, if you don't have names that sound like theirs, you are not an American. These are people who believe a white person who just got off the plane from fucking Poland is more American than me. And my ancestors picked cotton before the Civil War in the United States. Like if someone who just got off the plane is an American and I'm not, realize and recognize what this ideology is rooted in. It's rooted in white supremacy, white nationalism, and their mind, deep down in the bottom of their fucking heart, you are not an American. Why would you ever want to support a political party or ideology that at their heart of hearts does not believe you even belong? Does not believe that you even have the right to fly the flag, does not believe that any of the rights that are afforded to them should be afforded to you? At what point do you say, you know what? I'm worth more than this. I shouldn't be supporting this. This does nothing for me. MAGA is a movement of hatred, dysfunction, psychopathy, buffoonery, retardation, stupidity, absolute drug crackhead activity. Like, I'm telling you, if you haven't realized and recognized now, it's going to become quite obvious in the next, I don't know, like maybe months to come. Trump is constantly getting cooked every month. So we'll see. But your Lord and Savior is battling the Epstein files right now. And now the political commentators who have built a fucking, a livable income, not just off of white viewers, but also non-white viewers, are now snapping at and attacking at the non-white American population.